Today, we're going to take a second look at the Brous import line and see if their designs have to offer great performance at a budget price. Well, folks, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another episode here at Gideon's Tactical. I am your host, Aaron. And yeah, that's right. We're looking here today at the Brous import line T4. Now, we originally did the import line from Brous, looked at the Silent Soldier. That had been a design that had been on my radar for a very long time. So when I saw that they were offering budget options from their import line, I wanted to test it out. The functionality, meaning the fit and finish, the design, was really interesting to me. The quality was great for the price. It just didn't have really a purpose for me in the way that I use my knives. So I wanted to take a second look at more of just a more classic knife design with a large blade, finger flipper. We got some really cool aspects that I'm looking forward to showing you today. Now, the main difference for us with this import line, meaning that they're made in China, still very similar designs from what I'm seeing, really good fit and finish, quality control, but taking the US designs that are made here in the US and then just giving them slightly cheaper materials. The original T4, from everything that I'm seeing, is made out of aluminum. This is going to have a polymer handle, and then there are some other aspects, including that this blade is going to be 3.75, whereas the original USA made T4 is going to be 4 inches even. So it's slightly more compact as well. But I'm really looking forward to breaking this folder down for you, showing you what it has to offer and whether or not it should be on your radar and possibly get you into Brous knife designs so that you can later on maybe look at some of their US designs once you've checked out some of their imports without having to break the bank. So with that, let's go ahead and get to it, break this blade down, and see what it has to offer. So we got dueling capabilities for the deployment on this knife. It's pretty sweet. Now, when you first look at it, you just see the finger flipper and you're like, okay, sweet. Yeah, and it's sick. I mean, it feels fantastic. We have just a little bit of jimping there on the finger flipper, but it's not aggressive. They've really nicely rounded that tip point right there, so it feels very comfortable in the hand. I can easily hit that all day, and the detent really sucks the blade in nicely. You can see that it just sucks it really nicely in. It holds it into place without it being overly tight, so that I can flick it open if I really try, but it really feels like it just falls in and sucks into place because it's riding on ball bearing bushings. And man, is it nice. I really like it a lot. There's some ball bearings in there. Just want to show that, see if we can get it in there. Ball bearings in there, and you feel it, you know it. I mean, it's like butter. It's like a greased pan on Sunday morning on how fast and smooth and easy this thing just falls in and then deploys as well. So I really like that aspect a lot. Now, the other thing is that it has these, I don't know what we want to call these, ridges that have been milled in slightly into the finger, and they have, into the blade, and they have milled out the handle right here so that you can absolutely just press a little. Whoops, that was bad. There we go. And deploy the blade that way as well. So there's a dueling kind of functionality there that I think is pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. I'll sit there watching TV and I'll be flipping this guy, and then I'll, let it fall and suck in this place, and then I'll hit that and open it that way. So two different options there for that. Now, this is not milled in on the other side because it is a righty only, that we'll talk about in a little bit more with the pocket clip in just a moment. But it's only milled out on that one side because they have kind of designed it not for aesthetics, even though it does help with that, but as an extra option for deployment. So pretty cool there. Let's go ahead and hit that liner lock. It is just on the blade. It hits 100% of the blade. Get it open and close here one more time. There we go. Hits on the blade and is seated on it well, but it's not over any further. I would have liked to see it maybe just a hair over further. It's a good thickness. It's not ultra thin. It's not overly thick. Absolutely going to get the job done. I'm having the most micron of side-to-side play and none up and down. And then it has some nice jimping right there so that I can easily grab that guy and disengage as well. And then for the centering, I don't know if you guys can see it. It has not floated one way or the other, and I've had it for quite a while. It is just a micron to the right as we're looking at it. It's not dead center. It's just like the smallest over. Now it has not moved from that, but it is not dead center, but it does have enough spacing on either side that it doesn't really affect anything. But again, that would be, again, the part of what you're paying with the import line versus the US that you would hope to see. Dead centering on the US version. Import line, not as big a deal to me as long as it's not floating, and it has not floated. It has stayed dead center the entire time. So lock up, ball bearing deployment, double deployment is super cool, a little bit different, and good liner lock setup that you would expect from any liner lock design. All right, so let's go ahead and look here at the handle. And as I stated in the beginning of the video, the US versions will be aluminum, and they'll be a little bit lighter because of that. These are polymer, and then they have steel liners in there, just as you can see, and that kind of adds to the weight a little bit. So the T4 in US made will be a little bit lighter. This guy comes in at 4.97 ounces. So for the size of being an over 3.5 inch knife, it's very doable. It doesn't feel heavy in the pocket, doesn't feel like I'm putting a brick in there, but it is on the heavier side because you are getting a larger blade, and it's not the all aluminum body that the T4 US version will have. So nice traction, nice ribbing all throughout. We've got a little bit of jimping on the back here. We got a little bit jimping up here onto the blade, which isn't blocky and isn't sharp. It's more blocky, which is the type of jimping that I prefer. And with that nice traction, nice contouring, no sharp angles to speak of, which is really nice. My large size hands, as you guys know, fits really well. I have a huge deep guard right in here with that nice little thumb ramp and jimping. I mean, I am locked into place for harder stabbing, thrusting, or harder pressure cuts that you may be doing. And then in a reverse grip as well, that you can see there. I mean, I'm totally locked into place. Got a lot of options here to place my thumb, and I feel like I'm in control of the knife. Very well done. Screwed in together, so obviously you can take that apart if you need to. Some flow through on the back there. We have that nice stop pin that I probably forgot to mention in the deployment part of the video. There you go, nice, thick, heavy stop bar back there for the blade. Really well done. So I mean, it feels like a heavy-duty knife, feels very strong with the steel liners, and the polymer works very well together. You are going to look at a thickness of 0.54 as well, so it's going to be a little bit thicker than what you would expect on some thinner knives, but again, that fills out your hand very well. So you have a very large handle that fills out your hand well. So those of you with large, extra large, even double X size hands that wear those type of gloves, this is going to be a knife that's going to fit your hand, I believe, very well. But still, if you have smaller hands, still give you a lot of grip options, and really well done. I have zero complaints with the ergonomics as well as the feel of the handle. The handle length also is going to be 5.25 inches overall length, so a lot of real estate to work with. All right, so as we look here at the knife itself, we are looking at 3.75 inches overall of the blade from tip to the handle, and that's the same with the cutting edge. And then you are looking at 1.125 inches from top to bottom on the height of the blade, and you're looking at a flat grind or saber grind, which is always fantastic, and I love high saber grinds like this. I really like that a lot. D2 steel. And you have a maximum thickness back here near the handle of 0.14, and then tapering down with that nice swedge and that really nice drop, kind of a reverse sheep's foot design with a really good continuous slicing belly. So guys, I got to tell you, I dig the shape. I mean, that's one of the main reasons I gravitated to it. I wanted to buy it, is that I'm getting a flat grind, good, not overly thick, but not too thin either. Very tactical feeling, absolutely. I mean, that's a name that I would, when I see it, I would think of it, but I absolutely do everything performance as well. Really ground in nicely, nice and rounded machining back here with a flat area up here if you did want to throw sparks with it. Some of you guys like to know that. So D2, I have no issue with US or Chinese made D2 when it's heat treated properly. And what I'm seeing here is actually this is pretty easy for me to work with. I don't have to spend a lot of time. I accidentally was goofing around with it and dropped it in my garage and kind of nicked the tip a little bit, and it was very easy for me to put the edge that I wanted right back on it and kind of work on that tip a little bit when I was being a doofus and dropped it on the concrete. So we all tend to do that, and if you have the ability to easily work on the blade without it being overly difficult. So I think the heat treat is well done, so you're going to get better edge retention than your AUS 8s and 8CRs, but it's not going to be like impossible like LMAX or something that's really hard to work with and really hard to resharpen, and you're getting that good reach. It's got the belly for slicing, but then the tip for piercing as well. So it has a lot of capability. I was just really happy with how the blade performed overall and the steel performance for the price point. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit price here real quick. Now, I got this on sale over at Blade HQ for $49.99, which is a great price point. I don't know if it'll still be on sale when I post this video, so check out Blade HQ. That's where I picked this up. Might be on sale, and they have a lot of different color options, not only for the US version, but also for the import version here as well, which is super sick. But also check out Amazon. Now, the normal going rate on Amazon, and when Blade HQ doesn't have it on sale, is usually about $70 for D2 steel, the polymer, the ball bearings. It's, I would say, probably compared to what else is on the market from a Chinese company, say from, let's say, Civivi, Wi's budget-friendly line. If you look at Kaiser, some of those other Chinese-owned companies, they're usually using VG10, but have very similar fit and finish features that are going to be right around the $60 to $70 price point. So it's kind of falling right there. It's a little on the high end of what you're seeing from import designs in what the materials are, but I think it's still in the ballpark of what you would spend on a lot of other Chinese-made, higher-end, budget-friendly blades, meaning ball bearing bushings, good steel, and good ergonomics and good fit and finish. So thank you for using those Amazon Blade HQ links if this design or any other pocket knife design really connects with you and just in general. But I also want to remind you about our Knock Around Sunglass affiliate link. Great sunglasses for the entire family. Simple way, it's free for you, and you get a rockin' pair of sunglasses, and we get that small percentage back so we continue to get out there, purchase gear just like this so I can test it out and review it for you, as well as backcountry.com. They have apparel, they have gear, lots of the stuff that we test out here, and oftentimes on sale or with discount codes that they offer on their site. So check out backcountry.com. So wanted to run into really quick more size comparisons just to give you good perspective on this import T4 design, as well as we'll just talk, as we just talked prices, just give you perspective as well. What we have here is a D2 version of the Rat Model 1. Now that's going to run you like $40, so you know, definitely compared to normal $70 price point, you know, save you $30, but you're not getting the ball bearing bushings. You're not getting the quality of fit and finish that this import seems to be offering, and the style that this has to offer. I mean, this is a very utilitarian, very functional, multi-pocket clip directional. So if you're lefty, maybe that's the right option for you. But there's just a level of fit and finish, level of cool, level of performance that the T4 offers that, say, a Rat Model 1 is not going to give you. There's an obvious screaming difference. You know, I mean, this is like a C130. This one is like an F15. I mean, it's how it looks and kind of how it feels and how it fits in your hand, and you know, just all of that. So things to consider. And then I do have here a USA made in 154 cm steel Hogue EX-03. That's a 4-inch blade, but you know, I just want to give it more perspective. Very large. So I mean, this T4, even though it's a little bit smaller than the US version, is very large in its size, and you know, going to definitely take up some real estate in the pocket. Be very similar to a lot of your 4-inch knives, just a hair shorter at 3.75 on the actual cutting edge. And this guy's going to run you about $105 to $110 on average for these. Again, right pocket clip only, plunge lock. So you know, you are saving money because it is overseas produced. This is going to run very similar in price, or close to in price, to a lot of the USA made versions of the Brous line. So things to consider. Just want to give you some size perspective as well as price differences. Well, folks, time to bring it to a close. Give you my final thoughts on the T4 import from Brous knives. Now, I would have zero problem being a righty, paying $70, paying full price for what I am seeing out of this blade. Good fit and finish, good D2 steel, and just a really fun. It's hot. I mean, this is a gorgeous blade. That's a lot of fun and very high performing. The grinds are great. The action is great. The detent, the lockup. I mean, if this knife connects with you, I would pick it up. I mean, I paid my hard-earned money the first time through, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. So it's definitely something to look into. The real only drawbacks are I don't really see why they couldn't easily have tapped the other side, giving you an option for righty, lefty, because it is, you know, flipper, and just milled in the same kind of little finger lip, I guess, on the other side. Charge $5 more maybe if you have to do that. $1 is really probably all it would take. and offer that. That's the really only downside, that it's only right-handed friendly. But other than that, it continues to perk my interest in Brous knives in general. I now want to get on a regular T4, probably USA made, put it up against this, see if there are any differences in edge retention and performance in that way, and just check out more of their blades, because the import line on the more regular, more natural designs are really connecting with me, and I think you're getting a good performance to price, in this case, as long as you're right-handed, that you are getting with the T4 import. So check it out if you've been thinking about it. I don't think you'll be sorry at all. I'm digging it. Really a lot of fun to play with this blade. Man, that action is just, look at that. But then good detent. I really got to whip it to whip it good. So anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the channel, enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much. I invite you to become part of the GT family if you're not already, by subscribing below or whatever's popping up here, the other videos that we have going up all the time. We're throwing up videos all the time. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook. That's a great way to see behind the scenes stuff, informational, different things like that. And yeah, don't forget about the mailbag. Put hashtag mailbag. Ask a question. You might get answered in the Saturday show, which is different than a review. It's where we talk concepts and thoughts and ideas that have really nothing to do with the gear that we review in general. And it's just a fun, different way that we have fun together and grow together. So check out the show every Saturday and throw in those mailbag questions as well. Finally, guys, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. See you out there.